Republicans running for the legislature are expected to come at least close to a supermajority.
If that happens, Wisconsin's governor says legislative leaders will have all the power. Political reporter Will Keneally delves into what that could mean for the state. Will?
Under the current maps approved by the Wisconsin Supreme Court, Republicans are expected to pick up at least a couple more seats. But if they have a good year, they could win a veto-proof supermajority, making the governor's veto power essentially meaningless. Governor Tony Evers says that his function of his office will look a lot different if that happens.
The state of Wisconsin will look a lot different.
That's Evers' reaction when faced with the possibility of a veto-proof majority in the legislature.
They'll run roughshod. I mean, it's not an idea that suddenly they're going to say, well, we want to talk to you, Tony, because we have all the power in the state.
Evers' veto pen has been a powerful tool for Democrats as a check on Republican legislation. Evers has vetoed more bills than any governor in state history. It's unlikely Evers himself will be put in that scenario. Republicans would have to have a very good Tommy Thompson-esque year to capture a supermajority. Evers would likely lose re-election in that scenario, but even a small bump for Republicans could make a difference.
The bigger the Republican majority, one, it's easier to sustain a majority vote. In other words, you can lose more members and still prevail.
But it also then puts conservative Democrats in play, like Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin in the U.S. Senate.
There might be an issue in which you could pick off a few Democrats and get to a two-thirds majority to sustain a veto.
A bigger caucus could also create some interesting coalitions on the Republican side, like rural versus suburban Republicans.
You could have some diversity of opinions. You could have some members that are, kind of gadflies, or are giving the leadership trouble on individual issues.
So why a Republican supermajority is in play is due to the GOP-drawn maps approved by the courts. In our interview, Evers says he has no plans to challenge the maps, saying he's ready to move on and focus on his race. Democratic-drawn maps will be in place for the congressional races this fall.